What is up, YouTube? I'm Devon DaVinci, leader of the Renaissance Crew, and you're watching DaVinci Reacts. Today I have a few reactions for you guys. This is going to be a day of memes and tributes. So there have been some interesting things that have come out from the Twitters and the internets involving memes and a particular politician. As well as me going back to my roots and checking out a meme compilation video. But one thing I wanted to make sure I tackled was this video. Now, first of all, let me go ahead and start by saying that the lack of highlight video for Hank Aaron on YouTube is criminal. Like this is probably the only highlight video that I've seen that had music in it. Like, I tried looking at other ones and they were all just like straight up archive footage. There was nothing that was in the same tradition of normal highlight videos. And this one, even though in this one the music, I'm not sure what exactly it goes for. I just started playing the first like 10 seconds just to see if it had music, and it does. So I'm going to assume the music throughout the rest of the video. At least I hope. If you guys can find a better Hank Aaron video, I will react to it. This is a dude that is like, I'm not a big baseball fan. I'm not someone that's huge into it. I'm not somebody that knows a lot about it. I can't spout off like statistics and things like that I'm sure a traditional fan can. But I am familiar with some of the prominent figures, and Hank Aaron was definitely one of them. Somebody that I feel is a bit underrated. Like, you hear about the Babe Ruths, you hear about even Barry Bonds, the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa's, the real home run kings. But for some reason, you don't hear Hank Aaron too much. And given the fact that this dude is probably the only baseball player that wasn't on steroids that passed Babe Ruth's home run record, it speaks volumes. And the fact that he's not remembered as well is like, it's crazy. Because Babe Ruth's home run record isn't a small record. That's like, I would say that's probably the biggest record somebody can break in the I was about to say NBA in the MLB. I would say it's up there with what would be an equivalent record in basketball? Like, I would say 100 points in one game, but other people have broken that record. It's just they had assistants. Yeah, it's a really big record. I know that much. Anyway, let's jump into this, and hopefully it continues to be a highlight video throughout the entire thing.
He's mostly a risk hitter. He hits at the last second, and when you think the ball is past him, he will hit the ball quick.
Rather catch his glove.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, he'll hit it hard.
The thing that people should know about Henry is how good a player he was, how good an all-around player he was. That's one of the most overlooked aspects of his career.
One of the things that all good hitters have to deal with is people say, oh, he was just gifted. He wasn't just gifted. He worked and worked and worked to get where he was.
I studied the game very much. You know, I could tell you at the end of the season, if I hit 40 home runs, who I hit those 40 home runs off of.
And here is Henry Aaron. This crowd is up all around. He's sitting on 714.
How would Henry Aaron describe Henry Aaron's 715th home run?
A swing, a long drive, way back, way back, way back. It's gone!
In the Americans' mind, Babe's still the king, you know, but in the minds of us that play baseball, that are in baseball, Hank is the king, and you know, he'll always be the king.
Before he was the king, he was Henry Aaron from Mobile, Alabama. Alongside his 7 siblings, Henry grew up in
Mobile, Alabama is a place where you hear that name a lot when it comes to famous figures, actually. Like, if you think of whether it's a musician or activist or, you know, just like anything, if you want to think of like humble beginnings, somebody that started off dirt poor and didn't have anything but family around them, with a neighborhood that some cases were accepting, some cases were the first challenge of their lives. It's always Mobile, Alabama.
a segregated neighborhood, often at the center of racial tension.
I remember many times, you know, as a little boy growing up, that the Ku Klux Klan would come marching down the street for no reason at all. My mother would tell me, said, son, go hide under the bed.
Oh, there's a
Through
reason
all the
for
hate,
it. They did it to intimidate. That's it. That's all it was, intimidation. They wanted to let people know, especially the minorities, like, don't get out of line or else you have to deal with us. That's usually how, well, cowards tend to do it. Because I bet if it was one of them by themselves, they wouldn't be so proud to march and stuff.
Violence and fear growing up, Aaron had one outlet.
And my father asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, I want to play Major League Baseball. My father knew good and well that if things stayed the way that they were, that was never going to be an opportunity.
But thanks to the courage of one man, things didn't stay the way they were. In 1947, when Aaron was 13 years old, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. A year later, Aaron told his father he'd be in the big leagues before he retired, a prophecy he would eventually fulfill. Henry would begin his journey in 1952, quitting high school to join the Indianapolis Clowns of the Negro Leagues.
I didn't have much to carry. I had a suitcase with one pair of pants.
Clowns?
That's number one. And I had $2 in my pocket, so I had to make sure that I spent it very wisely.
The Milwaukee Braves spent their money wisely, purchasing Aaron from the Clowns for $10,000. In 1953, he played for the Braves' minor league affiliate in Jacksonville, one of the first integrated teams in the Southern League.
We were not able to stay with our teammates. We wasn't able to change clothes in some of the ballparks with our teammates. You realized that they were not right, but by the same token, you felt like you had to do them in order to make things better for someone else who was coming behind.
The backdrop of social injustice did not deter Aaron from excelling on the field. He won the league MVP award, earning him an invite to Braves spring training the following year. That spring, all Hank wanted was a fair shot.
Just given the chance to do the same thing that they were afforded the freedom to do, then if I fail, then you can let me go, but just give me the opportunity.
Aaron was given that opportunity on March 14th when he cracked the starting lineup after outfielder Bobby Thompson broke his ankle the previous day.
Charlie Grimm went into the dugout and saw Henry, but he didn't call him Henry. He just said, hey, you're in right field. He got up there in St. Petersburg and he hit a home run, first time at bats. Now, what do you think he did the second time? Another home run.
It was a break, no question about it. You know, I was in the right place at the right time.
After that break, Aaron never looked back. He was selected to the All-Star game in 1955 and 56 and followed those campaigns with one of the most prolific seasons in his 23-year career.
What are you hoping for in 1957?
I hope I can gain the National League Batting Championship, and I also hope that I can hit 30 or more home runs and drive in 100 or more runs.
Hank exceeded his own expectations in 57, batting .322 while hammering 44 home runs and driving in 132, en route to winning the MVP award.
That was the year I honestly believed that he would have hit 400. He was getting at least 2 hits in almost every game.
One hit that season Aaron would never forget would come on September 23rd in the...
I'm going to pause it. Because I want to get this out before he gets to this, because it sounds like what's about to happen next is pretty big. What would Hank Aaron's equivalent be in another sport? Like, Babe Ruth has always been considered like the Michael Jordan of baseball. If Hank Aaron broke his records, then wouldn't Hank Aaron be wouldn't Babe Ruth be the Wilt Chamberlain of baseball, and Hank Aaron be the Michael Jordan of baseball? I don't know. Let me know what the equivalent of. It doesn't have to be in basketball, too. It can be in other sports as well if you have a good example. But what would be the equivalent? Like, is he the greatest of all time? Was he the greatest of his generation among a group of people from different generations? Like, what exactly would you pinpoint?
One hit that season Aaron would never forget would come on September 23rd
and how accepted
in the 11th
was that
inning of a tie game with the Cardinals with a chance to clinch the pennant.
The pitch to Henry Aaron, a swing and a drive back into center field, going back towards the wall. It's a home run. The Braves are the champions of the National League.
I dreamed about that. I used to think about, well, wouldn't it be nice for you to hit a pennant clinching or tie-breaking home run and skip around the bases, you know? It was a tremendous moment for me.
The blast propelled the Braves to a meeting with the defending champion Yankees in the Fall Classic, a stage to no one's surprise, Aaron excelled.
Aaron rockets a terrific drive, 430 feet into the bullpen in left center. To that blast, third homer of the series for Aaron.
The Braves won the World Series in 7 games. Aaron batted .393 and drove in 7 runs, helping him draw adoration from fans and
good.
respect from peers.
I'm not a baseball fan.
I think the best hitter maybe right now that we're talking is Henry Aaron right now in baseball. I think he's able to wait and keep his hands back and swing real quick at the ball.
Aaron was consistently great for 2 decades, making the All-Star game every year from 1955 to 1975. He would belt 30 or more home runs in 15 different seasons and was a .300 hitter in 14 different years. But for those who played with and against Hank, he was much more than a great slugger.
A lot of things wasn't recognized that Aaron did because he did it with such ease.
Think about how many hits he had. 3,700 and some odd hits, right? Close to 3,800. You take away the 755 home runs he hit, and he still got 3,000 hits.
Aaron hit at least 40 home runs in 8 seasons, and by the end of 1973, he had 713 career home runs, just 1 shy of Babe Ruth's revered record, a record some people did not want him to break.
And I got millions and millions of pieces of mail from people that were resentful simply because of the fact that who I was, and they just was not ready for a black man to break that record.
I mean, he showed us the hate mail, yeah. Some of it was nasty.
I'm gonna leave this on the screen for a minute, but the idea that somebody doesn't want him to break the record because chances are they're racist as all hell. And the whole point of racism is you believe one race is superior. Usually it's your race. It'd be interesting to find somebody that sees someone else's race as superior. But you believe your race is superior. So the way you try to demonstrate that is to keep somebody else from breaking a record that someone from your race did. If you have to intimidate someone to not break someone's record, then chances are, I'm not going to say they weren't good because Babe Ruth was an absolute beast, but then that means that maybe the other person is maybe just as good, if not better. Just saying. Usually if somebody is so great, they don't need to intimidate to keep people from passing them. That's all I'm saying.
Nasty. Some of it was just way nasty. And it wasn't all from the South either. It was from all over the country.
Probably half of them were illegitimate, but one could be for real, and that would be the end.
Through it all, Henry Aaron persevered. His pursuit of baseball's most cherished record continued, and on opening day of 1974, he took his place alongside
Same jersey
Babe
number
Ruth.
as Jerry West.
3-1 pitch. There's a drive into left field. That ball is going, and out of here. Henry Aaron has just tied Babe Ruth in the all-time home run parade. The record they said that couldn't be reached has just been reached by Henry Aaron.
4 days later, Aaron and the Braves headed home to Atlanta.
Hit it for me, Hank. Hit it my way.
On April 8, 1974, the Braves hosted the Dodgers in the first home game of the season, with Aaron 1 swing away from surpassing the Sultan of Swat.
Someone told me later on, said it was cold. I didn't feel a thing. They said it was drizzling. I didn't feel a thing.
Hank told me, you know, that what he was going to do. He said, I'm tired of this. I'm going to get this over with right now.
Here's the pitch by Downing. Swinging. There's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7:15. There's a new home run champion of all
I've seen
time.
pieces of footage of this, but like, yeah, fans like running with him. Hey, fans came to the field and started running with him.
Thought about you come a long ways, baby. You know, I mean, it's from Mobile, Alabama, all the way to breaking one of the most prestigious records in baseball. You know, I feel very proud of myself. I don't know how my mother ever got out of the stand, but I guess she was bent on being out there, you know, which was fine with me, but she gave me the biggest, tightest hug I ever had in my life. I don't know how I got loose.
He had tears on his cheek and tears in his eyes, and I remember being stunned. I said, Henry Aaron is crying.
What a marvelous moment for baseball. What a marvelous moment for Atlanta and the state of Georgia. What a marvelous moment for the country and the world. A black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South for breaking a record of an all-time baseball idol.
I just thank God it's all over with. Thank you very much.
At the time he called it quits, Aaron was second all-time in runs and hits and had more home runs, RBIs, and total bases than anyone who ever played the game, a tribute to the remarkable quality and consistency of his career.
The way to fame is like the way to heaven, through much tribulations. It had been for me, to quote a very popular song, a long and winding road.
He was a pillar of strength, and if anybody, black, white, red, or technicolor has
Seems
a
like
problem,
he's more
you can
known
look
as
at
Henry
Aaron and
Aaron
look
than
at the
Hank
strength
Aaron.
he had.
I think that people can look at me and say, you know, he was a great baseball player, but he was even a greater human being.
Yeah. I mean, the only real, I would say the only proper equivalent that I could see in, with Hank Aaron and his peers in relationship to another sport and a superstar and their peers would be bodybuilding. He reminds me of a Lee Haney, somebody that has broken the record at the time for the most Mr. Olympia wins of all time. And as of right now, he's currently tied still to this day with the most of Mr. Olympia wins. But he's not seen as... He's not as prolific as Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronnie Coleman. Well, I don't think Phil Heath has passed it yet, has he? But he's not as prolific as the people that has matched him, or some of the people that even have less Olympia wins than him. I guess maybe it's because of maybe his personality is very quiet and to himself, and a lot of times that can kind of that can hurt your stock for greatest of all time, because part of the thing that gets people over the edge as far as like being considered the greatest isn't just their accomplishments or their ability, but the story surrounding their career as well. Somebody that's charismatic with the personality to back up their performances, usually that's what gets you over the hump of being called the greatest of all time. And honestly, that's one of the things that kind of hurt. Well, I don't know why I'm going to turn this into a LeBron Jordan debate, but it's about to happen. It's one of the things that kind of hurts LeBron, because Michael Jordan's career was very storybook. And it ended, especially in Chicago, it ended on an app. Like, there could have been no better ending for an NBA career than what happened in Chicago. That alone is something that will give him extra points above LeBron. And let's say had LeBron retired after 2016, it probably would have added, that would have probably boosted him to be seen as even more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I don't think that would have put him at greatest, but it would have kicked him up to the point where it was like a solid, without debate, second greatest of all time, at least, if he would have retired like immediately after 2016. Yeah, it's all about the story. Like, the story surrounding it really makes it it really makes the career. And the funny thing is, he does have a story. Like, the whole chase for Babe Ruth's record, and then you have all this racism and Jim Crow and segregation and stuff that's going on around it, and people are telling him, like, threatening him and things like that from breaking it, but he still like pushes forward and he ends up breaking it. Like, that is a story, and if pushed and told the right way, I think that it could get him recognized as it could get him recognized in his proper context, now I think that, yeah, he should be without a doubt considered the greatest basketball. Wow, he should be considered the greatest baseball player of all time, in my opinion. Because you think about a time, this is before the steroids epidemic and people taking performance enhancing drugs and everything else. This is back when baseball was fueled by beer, hot dogs, and cigars. The guy was able to do things that players nowadays can't do, despite having none of the medical treatments, the training routines, the nutritional guidelines, the modern information we have on how to properly take care of your body and recovery times and all this other stuff. He had none of that, and he still has done things that 99% of baseball players have and never will do. So I'm about to say here's one to Hank Aaron, but this is water. I don't know if it'll work. So here's one to Hank Aaron. Everybody that is watching this, if you're a fan of baseball, let me know in the comment section what Hank Aaron means to you and what he means to baseball, because as somebody that's on the outside, I don't have a lot of references and like key points to tag on to when it comes to where certain stuff is as far as relevance. So yeah, go ahead in the comment section and educate me. Now, just real quick, I wanted to touch up on this because this is something that popped up, and it irritates the hell out of me. But apparently Hank Aaron passed away not too long ago. Like as of the time of this recording, he passed away yesterday. Apparently he had like a vaccine shot about like a week ago or sometime like that. And now people are trying to say that the vaccine shot is what killed him. He was 100% healthy. He took this vaccine shot, then he's dead. And they're trying to use this as an argument to not get vaccinated. Freaking stop. That shit is so damn annoying. Like, it irritates the hell out of me. First of all, let's get it out of the way. There is absolutely zero evidence that a vaccine shot killed him. Period. If you want to make some type of conspiracy theory or whatever else, you're doing it. Well, people should know that you're doing it while knowing it's a freaking conspiracy theory. Period. Bottom line. Now, if you don't want to take a vaccine shot or whatever else, I'm not going to say don't, because that kind of kills the point of vaccines for everybody else. But at least, like, educate yourself on it first. If you're going to talk crap about a vaccine, then I would at least expect you to know the ins and outs of the vaccine shot. Not just like, oh, I saw this on Facebook and therefore, come on now. I mean, if you want to take a minute to like observe the side effects of a vaccine, that's fine. That's kind of what I'm doing. Like, I'm not in a rush to get a vaccine, but I'm looking to see what the effects and everything else are, and then I'm going to take it. But I don't think that that vaccine shot is like going around with the intention of killing anything. It's not. And let's say on the off chance that it was the 100% reason. Let's just pretend for a second that 100% it was the vaccine shot. He had a reaction to it, and that's what led to his death. That is one out of how many people that have taken that vaccine? Hundreds of thousands, if not millions at this point, of people have taken that vaccine. If one person passed away out of millions, that's kind of the ratio, right? That's usually how those things work. It's never 100%. It's always the possibility of something happening. Now, the possibility is a very small fraction of a percentage, but that is usually how it is. I just wanted to get it off my chest because I'm tired of people jumping into conspiracy theories. And it seems like nowadays everybody wants to be contrarian. Everybody has to be on the outside looking in. Everybody doesn't want to be part of the mainstream crowd. So they all, like, if anything comes out that is against the status quo, they jump behind it because they want to be the first to do something, or they want to be unique in some way, or whatever the hell else. Just because something is a conspiracy doesn't mean it's true. Just because you don't like something don't mean that you go around looking for pieces of information on the internet that only backs up what you want to believe, no matter how nefarious the damn source material is. Life doesn't go your way a lot of times. Life isn't fair. If you want one thing to be true, if all the evidence is pointing against it, that doesn't mean keep just throwing out the evidence until eventually you see something that goes your way. It's all about accepting the most reasonable answer based on solid evidence. Period. Now, if something comes out that's solid, that is, based on evidence and can persuade you in another way, fine. But this idea that like people just will believe whatever the hell they want, and then if something else comes against it that contradicts that, no matter how solid the evidence is, they just dismiss it as, oh, that's nothing, I don't care, whatever. Or they'll just like block you or try to shut everybody that speaks against them out so they can try to keep their little bubble of their own reality. Like, we need to get past that. The internet, I don't know, the internet made people lazy. Like, the fact that it's actually ironic. We have all this access to all the information in the world, literally, but we're less, like, nowadays we're less likely to go seek out the truth and real information than we were in the past, even though now we have the greatest level of access to that information and the most convenient level of access to that information as well. When I was growing up, we had encyclopedias. You guys don't remember it, or people that are young probably don't remember it, but it was like a book series. It would have like 30 books all together with like all this information in it, and you'd have to buy it from some, I don't want to say bookstore. I'm sure bookstores had it too, but you had to buy it from like furniture store places, like places that sold like legit stuff, or you have to get it off of like some type of commercial or something, and it was like a 30-book series, and it would cost like hundreds of dollars. Like, that was our internet at the time, encyclopedias. Now you have access to all the information, but nobody wants to go out and like use it. If they see something they like, they'll just go with it. They won't like bother making sure it's true or verifying or trying to look up the opposite argument or anything like that, despite the fact that it's literally just a click away. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. If you have anything to say about it, go ahead and feel free to do so in the comment section, because unlike a lot of people, I actually don't mind a different opinion, as long as if it's not intentionally misinformed. But whatever. I'm Devon DaVinci. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I'm going to go ahead and check out these other memes, because it's been a long time since I've checked out memes. I think that you'll probably like it. It's kind of tough doing memes now because of how strict YouTube has kind of been as far as like videos and their content. But I'll give it a shot. I'm going to give you the deuces, and I will see you on the next video. Deuces.